Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And I am so excited for my guest today. Somebody totally different. This is Donneruno. Welcome, Don. How are you today? Oh, you must have water before you start talking.
I'm excellent, Wendy. How are you, dear?
I'm good. I'm so happy to share your story with everybody because you are the cake Don. I want you to explain to people like who you are and what you do, and then we're going to get into how you even got there.
Excellent. So my name is Donneruno. I am born and raised in New York City and an artist my whole life. I was an artist, paint, sketch, got involved in the graffiti movement growing up in the city, and never believed that you could be an artist to make a living. That was not a thing you could do back then. You couldn't be an artist and support a family. And so for whatever reason, I didn't think that was a way that I can make a living. So I did what everybody did, and I just got a regular job. You know, it was a great job, worked for a great company, but I was not expressing myself artistically. And the years started to go by. The houses get purchased, the kids get born, and you create this life. And it was amazing. Bought a beautiful house, had a great job. It just was not a creative outlet for me. And then at 42 years old, totally by accident, by a freak conversation, I found cakes, and it took me on a road that I could have never expected.
Okay, so you're my favorite type of person because I'm so inspired that you did it. You know, I truly believe that we each have something to contribute to the world that only we could do, like our own special gift. And I love something I read on your website, something about like if you do something with all your passion, people dig it. Something like that. I'm sorry if I misquoted it, right? And it's true because only you could do it in that way. And the way you came to this is I love this that you are an artist. You were a shoe designer. Is that true?
No, I worked for a shoe company, Stuart Weitzman Shoes.
Right.
High-end shoe company, great company, but I was not in a creative end of the shoe company.
Interesting.
But it was a great job, and I raised my family, bought a house, but it was not fulfilling, you know, that artistic end. I've been equipped with one side of the brain, and it's that artistic side. And I would try and find outlets for that my entire life. I'm a musician, and I tried to find different outlets, but I never could figure out how to do it and earn a living.
You know, I don't know, it's so interesting because you said that totally by accident, you found this. And I don't believe in accidents. I really think that, you know, there's no such thing as coincidence. Things happen to propel us to the next step. So can you tell us about that accident and how you got there?
Yeah, so I had a nanny who used to be with us that took care of my kids when they were little, and she would make cakes for her friends all the time. She would make cakes for my kids. And then once my kids got older, she wasn't working for us anymore, but she remained part of my family. She was, you know, as close as anybody could be to us. She's remained as close to my kids this whole time. And her, knowing my artistic ability, asked me to help her with a cake. She called me up and she said, I took on this cake and I know I can't do it. Can you help me? And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't even know. I didn't pay attention to that medium. I had never touched a cake before. And I said, okay, when? Tomorrow. So she brought all the stuff to my house, and we made a cake, a King Tut cake. And it came out exceptionally well. And I took a picture of the cake, like I do all my artwork, and I put it on Facebook, and I just wrote, check out this cake. I made this cake. And 1 minute after I posted it, a friend who I grew up with in Queens, Criss wrote, "You're the cake, Don," under the picture.
Your name, I love it.
And I laughed. Yeah, and I laughed, and I didn't think anything about it. And after that, people started contacting me for cakes. And it just took us on this insane trip to where now, that was March 5th, 2010. So we just passed our 10-year anniversary of that first King Tut cake. So, and here, and Tut is now on my shirt. Yeah, forever. I'm forever grateful to the King Toucher. You could go ahead. I'm forever grateful.
Oh my God, I love it. So wait, do you want to see, hello in the background?
That's my daughter back there. I got my daughter at work for me.
I love it. A family business. So yeah. I was telling my daughter that I was going to be interviewing you, and she's obsessed with baking. In fact, we haven't stopped eating the entire quarantine because all she does is bake a cake a day. It's selfish.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know if it's in our DNA, but when you're locked away somewhere, you need to cook food and bake.
Yeah, we it's like a fear. We wanted like a fatten up so that we have resources. But so when I was telling I was telling my daughter about you, so her friend was in the car and she goes, "Oh my God, look at this cake. Can you see this, Don?"
So, Penn State cake. Yeah. We just did that.
So she said her friend just had a cake made by you. I was like, no way. I love when stuff like that happens. So tell me, I want to understand a little bit more how you work and how people come to you and what inspires you, because you are an artist. So you probably draw from so many mediums.
Yeah, well, I certainly draw from a lot of mediums because I'm not your traditional baker cake artist. I come from graffiti. I love tattoo culture, music, hip hop music. Really was a big influence on me when I was a young kid. So I'm drawing from all aspects. And I think what people can really spot today, especially because everybody is exposed on social media now, if you're not authentic and if you're trying to sell people some story that's not the real story, I think they could smell it and they're not going to believe it. So my story is as authentic as it can be. I put what I like into my work, and you could tell, people could tell. But I think that's what weeds out the people that rise above now, especially with the exposure of Instagram and Facebook and now TikTok with all these videos. If you're a fake, you're exposed immediately. Years ago, without social media, you could be a fake and nobody would ever know. You could portray this image, and who would be able to tell? Yeah. You're not talking on a video, you're not in an interview. But I think now with the social media, you could really, really tell.
I couldn't agree with you more. And what I love about what, I was reading about you before I did this interview, and I love that you draw from, like Salvador Dali and Muhammed Ali, and even songs that inspire you. Do you ever? Yeah. I know that you bake for a living and you decorate for a living, but do you ever just get inspired to go in and do a cake just because you feel the need to do it?
Yes, we've done a few of those. I have a cake in my shop that's based on the movie Up. Do you know the movie Up?
I love
it. The Pixar, the animated movie.
The balloons and the little old man and the house that goes up.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm going to bring up a picture while we're talking, but when I saw that movie for the first time, I was not prepared for it. I thought I was just going to watch some animated movie.
Sure, yeah.
And it really hit me, and I made an up cake for the shop just so I could have it here.
It's deep. That movie's deep.
It's very deep. It's too deep for an animated. It sneaks up on you. You're not ready for it. And they hit you early on in the movie. So 10 minutes into the movie, I'm already crying. I have tears running down my face, and the movie just started. It really sneaks up on you. But I made a cake for the shop because it's my favorite movie and I love it. And I made a Kiss cake, the band Kiss. Yeah. But I have a Kiss cake here just because I want to surround myself here with the stuff that I love. I don't know if you could see it over my shoulder. Yeah. I have a picture of Anthony Bourdain there. Yeah. I just surround myself with the stuff I love, the authentic stuff that really, that affects me. And I think that's what's really helped me get me to this point, that people can really tell that I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you know what? Doing that, it's such a canvas for your life. You know, because your thoughts become your reality. So if you're seeing all these things that inspire you all day long, and you're surrounding yourself with things that have some meaning to you, how could you not be inspired?
Yeah. And what I've learned now is you have to inspire yourself. You have to be your own inspiration, because you can't wait for other people to give you that positive energy. And too many people are struggling right now. And if you sit around and wait for somebody else to give you inspiration, you're gonna sink. You're not gonna make it. So you need to figure out how to take care of yourself. And I think this thing we're going through right now has opened a lot of people's eyes to, if you're not taking care of yourself in regular times, and then something like this happens, your mental and physical health, you're done. You're a goner. So I've been paying extra close attention to mentally trying to help myself, physically trying to help myself, and inspire myself. If it's just surrounding myself with positive people, with a good plate of food, with a good drink, with just some vitamin D, get out in the sun for a little while, which is not as easy for small business.
Oops, we lost you. You froze.
Get out on my motorcycle for a little while, just trying to take care of myself, but being the positive energy, just finding it for yourself. Go in search of it.
Yeah, I love that. I read a quote the other day, and it says, chase sunshine. And that's exactly what you're saying. You know, you like that. I feel it from you. You're very authentic. You're
Yeah,
passionate about what you do. And I'm sure you attract those kind of people into your life. So let's talk about this.
Well, listen,
No, go ahead. Sorry, lad. Finish your thought. You said
we unfortunately attract both kinds of people. But you have to be, now with the wisdom and the age comes, you have to take inventory on the negative people and remove them as quick as possible.
For sure, 100%. So let's talk about this time of quarantine and COVID, and you being a small business, and how did you adapt? How did it affect you? Have you adapted?
We came to work March 17th, was a Tuesday, and it was the first week where it was really hitting people hard, that people were going to have to lock down. And I had started the week with 33 parties for that weekend. So we had 33 cakes, which whatever, sweet 16, wedding, birthday, whatever they were, bar mitzvah. And I came to work Tuesday, and out of the 33 parties, that Tuesday I had 30 cancellations.
Oh my God.
So you say to yourself, for a guy like me, a small business, and that's what we do, specialty cakes, you're done, you're dead. You're not going to, and this was only the first week, and we knew this was going to be a stretch. So I got on the computer that day, and I made a quick little flyer on Photoshop that we were going to offer cupcakes, which we never did cupcake deliveries before. It was the first day. I posted this flyer, not knowing if anybody was going to order. And the first couple of days I started to get some orders, and it was pretty encouraging that I had enough of a following on social media where people immediately started calling. The first week went by, and it was a success. And we had pivoted on the spot. We adjusted immediately, and it turned out to be the right decision on that day. And then I started to get coverage on the News 12 covered it, that I was doing cupcakes, and then Newsday covered it. And it just sort of spiraled. And I'm also relentless on social media. I don't give people a break. If you don't want to see my cakes and my cupcakes, well then you'll unfollow me, because I'm posting every day, all day. And it just helped. It got the word out, and now we have a cupcake business along with our cake business. It's crazy.
I love that so much. I love how you're such a master manifester. You know, you were like, okay, what can I do? And you created a solution. You were like, I'm going to try this. And then look what happened. It's like, I love it.
Yeah, but I think that comes from being in really, really some serious situations throughout the years in your life that prepare you for that. You don't panic. You don't start throwing it. I had been through some real serious stuff, you know, trying to build a small business over the last 10 years. It's a real gut check. Most people, when the end of the month comes and you have 10 bills to pay and you have enough for 3 of them, you know, in a mortgage, and most people will go back to the previous. They say, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. But I stuck it out. We figured it out. I'm still in the same house I was in before. But it prepared me. So it keeps the hand, when the trauma comes, it keeps the hand steady. So that really prepared, the last 10 years prepared me for March 17th, because I just figured, okay, we got to do something. Let's figure it out. We didn't panic. But now the key is, how do I pivot now and turn that situation, which my whole career has happened like this. The King Tut cake happened the same way, a phone call. This cupcake thing happened. We just showed up, and it's now, how do I react now and make it into the next, how does the next 10 years look for this cupcake business? How do I really take it into what the next phase for the cupcakes are? Because it's a business on its own.
Wow. So what, do you have any thoughts? Like, are you, do you have a vision of where you want to take it?
I do. I have a vision board always. I've always had a vision board, and I'm actually going to start to share it with people, because I think people should have a vision board. Most people should have a vision board. And I think most super successful people do have a vision board. I think it's a tool that the really top level successful people use. So I've already mocked up what the front of the cupcake shop is going to look like. And in my mind, it's the second shop, third shop, fourth shop. I want to have a shop in Huntington. I want to have a shop in Southold. I want to have a shop in all these places. And then, you know, in malls. But in my mind, I'm already envisioning this, because to me, it's edible arrangements. You could send to your friend if you want some food. You could send flowers, 1-800-Flowers. And you're going to send cake down cupcakes. It's going to be it's going to be part of that, because there is, you know, it's going to be something that's going to be there. But I've already decided that it's going to be something already. And however long it takes. I'm not sure. There's no time. I'm in no rush. The grind and building this thing, I realized was the fun part. Make every day showing up. And now I have my kid here with me, who's just graduated college, and she's here with me every day. She's going to be here for the summer. She just signed, she has a contract to work at Disney in August. She's a musical theater major. So she's going to spend the summer with me, which is amazing for me to hang out with her. And just showing up and doing it every day.
There's so much I want to ask you about what you just said. First of all, let's go back to the social media. That is something that I've paid attention to with you now that I've been following you, is you are relentless. And it teaches me, because I have a small business and I'm hesitant to post as much, but you're right. If people
what makes you not post? You know, why don't you want to post?
It's my insecurity. I realized that in this time, that it's a stupid limiting belief, and I teach manifestation. So it's I have a manifestation toolkit. I'm actually just about to launch it, and but I've naturally done it my whole life, and I believe you can, you know, have anything you want, only if it's in alignment with who you are and your passion. So what you're saying about, you know, this vision board, the more detail you give to your dreams, and the easier it is for the universe to bring it to you. And you've done that. I mean, you've envisioned so many details of how this is going to unfold, and I can completely see it.
The big day for me with social media was when I didn't care how many likes or comments the post got. Yeah. I didn't care. I posted it because I thought it was a cool post. And some days I'm shocked. I'm shocked by what gets a lot of attention. And sometimes I'm shocked. I think I'm going to post this thing and it's going to blow up. And then I wake up the next day and I go, I can't believe nobody reacted to that. You can't figure it out. But now I just keep posting, and some stuff people react to and some stuff people don't react to. The crazy thing now is I got on TikTok. And I just have a feeling about TikTok that it's going to be something else. It hasn't become what it's going to be yet. And it's the same thing about 7 years ago when I got on Instagram. My daughters kept saying to me, why are you on Instagram? It's for girls in middle school. And I said, I don't know, something about this medium, it really appealed to me, where you don't have to say anything. You could just take a really good looking photo and put it on there. And I think TikTok is going to be that. I've been on TikTok and I would post videos, the cakes and stuff, and I would get 200, 300 views. And I didn't care. I was just building the page. And last week I posted a cake and it's a Barbie doll. I mean, it's the most ridiculous cake. It's a Barbie doll who's vomiting up glitter into a toilet bowl for her 21st birthday. It's now at 60,000 views.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a 60,000 views on TikTok.
That's incredible.
But it didn't. Yeah, I would have never thought that was the cake that was going to get, but you never know. So post all day, every day. If people respond, they don't. Sooner or later, if it's something people are interested in, they're going to get the attention. You're going to get the reaction. And if you don't, you don't. It's free. Big deal. Post it. You're not paying for the post. If you're a small business owner and you're not utilizing Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, shame on you, especially right now.
100% right. And so that was something I've worked on during this time. Like I decided I wanted to publish articles. I wanted to pitch because there's all these online articles, online magazines.
Right.
I learned how to do it and I was just published this morning. And I'm so excited because you're right. And it was more me like, I kept reading it and I was like, is this good enough? And then I was like, of course, I'm just doing it. And
right.
So my main reason for doing it was I follow somebody, his name is Peter Crone. And he says that what changed his life is these three words, I don't know. So it's doing something, you know.
What is he? What does he do for a living?
So he calls himself a life architect, like a mind architect, and he really helps people to let go of their limiting beliefs. And he's incredible. Like he's just so, it's really simple, everything that he says. But so this is what my article was about. It was about, is there power in uncertainty? And his like kind of tagline is, I don't know. And those three words change his life because he'll do things without, and then release the outcome. And it's exactly what you're saying. You know, it's like, I'm just going to post, I'm just going to send the article. So actually, as soon as this is done, I'm going to have a tattoo. I keep it, I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. But I've written it in pen, I don't know, on the inside of my wrist.
And you're going to get it tattooed?
I'm going to get a tattoo. That's it.
I love that.
Because it's so much what I believe. I just hadn't articulated it in that way. You know, I was going to put surrender, but this just feels more real to me. So what you're saying is right, is that we limit ourselves, you know, and clearly you've tapped into that and you're not letting it. TikTok, I have teenage daughters. They're like, don't even go near TikTok, Mom. Like your kids were talking about Instagram.
Yeah. I've been paying attention to TikTok for a little while now, and I got on it early. But once you see Kevin Hart, The Rock, once you start to see these people on that, you know there's something happening.
Yeah.
Once the most successful level of person starts to use it to promote themselves, because they know before we know. They know something's happening here with that movement. And then I started to notice high-level entertainment people started to use it. And where else could I have posted this cake and 60,000 people in one day were going to see it? It wasn't going to happen.
It's crazy, Donna. You couldn't have made that up.
Yeah.
60,000 people around the world. That's the thing, is that our platform in our lifetime is completely global. We're not limited by anything. And I love your message of just being authentic to who you are, because, you know, people are savvy now. They know what's authentic and what isn't. And they know the right people are going to find you.
Yeah, they're going to, if you're authentic, they will find you. I follow somebody called David Goggins, and
I'm writing that down. Yes. Why?
David Goggins.
Yeah.
And he's an ex-Navy SEAL. And his answer to everything is, I love it. Whatever you say, My father left when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up poor. My girlfriend left me. My business. So, okay, now what is it? Okay, now what?
Yeah.
But I think the thing that a lot of people suffer from, and I suffered from it from a long time, we hold on to all that baggage, all that bad stuff. And then once you put it down, you realize it was weighing you down, and your hands were not free to grab all the other stuff that you could get. You're so busy you're carrying this bag every day of all this bad stuff. But you just say, okay, now what? You're either going to make it better, or you're just going to sit and wallow in that. But some people, they need that security blanket. They need the depression, the anxiety. They don't know how to deal without it. They've been with it for so long. They don't know how to not have it. I've sort of learned how to take those, the anxiety and the depression, and use it as fuel. So I've now learned how to take it and use it for my benefit, which I use it as a fire to keep me going to the next thing, whatever that is, small or big. But it's just like, so, okay, what could have possibly happened to you? Okay, you had a bad relationship, you went bankrupt. Okay, you're 50. What are you gonna do for the next 40 years? Like, it's not done. This is not a dress rehearsal. Figure it out and let's go, move on. I love it here. I love it on this planet. I like being me. I'm having the best time. Could I be more successful? Absolutely. Could I be less successful? For sure. But I like being here. I want to be here as long as I can. I was having a talk with my daughter. I had listened to a podcast about artificial intelligence. And I said to her, my younger one, who's a very dark, moody teenager, everything is the most important thing. But that's how she creates. She pulls from that. And I said to her, we're getting very close to the technology where they're going to take your brain out of your head and they're going to put it in a new vessel. This artificial intelligence, it could be you when you were like 25 or 30, and your feelings and your emotions and your memory will live now in this body forever. And she looks at me and she goes, now this is my 18-year-old. This is the beauty of my 18-year-old. She looks at me and goes, you want to do this bullshit all over again? And I said, yeah, I love it here. I want to go. I want to see. I don't ever want to leave here. I love it here. I want to see my grandkids, my great-grandkids. I want to see them cure cancer. I want to see people living on Mars. I want to see all the stuff that I'm interested in now. Why would I want to leave here? I love it here. Maybe there is a greater place to go to, but this is the place I know now, and I want to stay here as long as possible. I'm enjoying being here right now. And hopefully we're headed in the right direction after this crazy few months. And hopefully it's a reset for a lot of people. I hope people realize all the craziness that we were chasing every day, all the stuff that really, you found out, you know what? I really didn't need that stuff. Like, you've been home, you haven't been able to go to the mall, you haven't been, you've been hanging with your family, doing stuff home, cooking food together, and hopefully people hit a reset. I feel bad for the small business owner, because I think a lot of people that don't have the capacity or the capability to pivot and recreate themselves, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, because the small business is going to really suffer on Long Island. So I wish the best for everybody, but I'm excited, and just to see it get better now. I hope it gets better quick.
Yeah. I think it is going to, and I do think there's this kind of was divinely orchestrated. I mean, if you think about our lives, most people like you definitely live in so much in alignment of who you are, and you have that happiness and you have a good balance just from everything you've said. But I'd say 95% of people didn't and don't.
No.
So hopefully this has been that reset like you're talking about, and they're going to, look for balance.
And how quick it could be taken away. How quick all this stuff that we thought was everything and important could be just gone in one day, they locked everything down. It was done. Guys that have built restaurants, you know them, I know them. We all know these guys for 20 years. They showed up, they worked hard, they built a clientele. Yeah, that's it, you're done. You can't operate. And it's scary and it's crazy. And let's hope we figure out a way now. If something happens again in the future, we know the steps, the protocol. We know how to deal with it a little better.
Yeah.
But who knew? There was no way. There was no blueprint. There was no plan. Nobody had the book, the playbook for this thing. I just hope people take advantage of it. Hit the reset. Figure out. I need to make changes in my life, and I got to tell you, I have two daughters graduating this year. One from college and one from high school.
Oh.
And I talk to people on the phone all the time. Their kids are graduating, and people would say, this is the saddest, most horrible. They don't get to graduate. And I thought about it as we were going along and the weeks were going by. And I said, you know what? This is the best thing that's happened to either one of my kids, because they've had no hiccups or speed bumps so long. These kids on Long Island, they go to school, they get a car. They've lived a life with no distress.
Yeah.
And hopefully they have this now in their toolbox. They could say, I remember when my senior year got cut off and canceled and how I dealt with it. And maybe they can use it in the future if something else bad happens. So the bad thing that happened to them, it was terrible. They should have got to graduate and prom. But you know what? This thing that they'll remember forever, hopefully it helps them deal with some situations that aren't that easy in the future, where they say, you know what, I got through that, I'll get through this, it's not that big a deal. I think that's a big problem with a lot of kids that go away to school. It's the first time people are telling them in their life that they suck and you're not really that good. And then they go, wait, what? My mother said I'm the best. And then the professor goes, no, you're really not that good. And the kid shuts down, sits in his dorm room and can't function because he thought he was, the best, and his bowel movements were golden eggs coming out of him for 18 years. But I hope some of these kids use it as a tool that they could deal with some adversity.
I totally agree with you. And just think of the impact of the parents. Like, if you have somebody who didn't spend time with their kids and they were not connected, and this has made that change, you're going to have a different child coming out of this. And for the rest of their lives, they're going to be different because of what's happened, because you've changed. So I think there's so much good. That of course, there's so much bad and so much loss of life and very scary things. I've been on a roller coaster ride. Like I live very much like you. And I always look at making, solutions and moving forward and pivoting. And I'm a small business. I've been open for 2 years. I'm in the process of expanding. I'm opening an LA location. I'm expanding to a movement studio here, which is Tai Chi, Qigong, mindfulness meditation. So for me, it was like, it was the beginning, that first day. And I have to say, it was a few hours. Like you said, March 17th. For me, it was the 13th. And I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? And I instantly took my platform virtual. I learned how, I always say I'm a tech idiot, but I learned how to do, Zoom and virtual classes. And I was calling my teenage girls, I need tech support. But I learned how to do it. And now, like you said, we have the tools. If this happens again, something like it, we know what to do. I have now a virtual platform. I always wanted to build a YouTube channel. I wanted to spend my time interviewing somebody like you who contributes to the world, who lives authentically, and it inspires me. And I've never had the time because I work 7 days a week, like you. I mean, even when I go home, I'm doing my social media because no one knows a message better than me, just like you.
Right.
So this time has been amazing for that. And I get to chat to you. What could be better, love?
Amazing. Think about the people that you don't even realize that you've inspired, that are watching what you're doing over the past 2 months. You don't even know that they're watching, and they're saying, wow, maybe I could use what she's doing in my world, but it's a different world. But they were inspired by what you did. And then hopefully down the road, you'll bump into somebody and they'll say, thank you. You know, I watched your video and whatever. And then it makes the whole thing worth it.
That would be my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the money. Like even in this time, I haven't charged for 90% of what I've done. I've put on a lot of community programs. Like I have free psychic readings once a week, and we did a virtual dinner. We had live jazz musicians, and we had a comedian, and we sent out recipes a few weeks before with my health coach and the health concierge. She put them together with ingredients that boost immunity. So we try to like give something to the community, because a lot of people were isolated, a lot of people were in fear, and there was that beginning that every channel was just COVID, fear, you know.
Yeah.
It's like red and black, which, you know how you surround yourself with all these beautiful things? The opposite was happening. So the impact of that was fear. So it was kind of interesting, that transition. But I hope that people, you know, learn something. Just like talking to you today, you have said so many amazing things about, you know, living authentically and pivoting, and, you know, the changes you can make. And I really appreciate you, you know, taking this time to talk to me and to share your wisdom, because you said 10 years, you were 42, you're 52, and look what you've done in these 10 years. And you're young enough to start another business. Like I'm 52. I opened this place 2 years ago, and the best is yet to come. Like
we didn't even get started yet.
No, not started.
People come to my shop, and I like my shop. I've set it up and I think it's beautiful. And people that know me, they come in and they go, look at this place. Look what, and I go, I didn't even get started yet. Like, this is not even the beginning. But for you, paying attention to what you're saying, I think what sets people apart in your world, you have to give it away for free.
Yeah.
You have to give your wisdom and your knowledge, because today, the currency is the attention. If people are paying attention to you, that's the currency. That's the money. If you're going to charge me for your advice, I don't even know if your advice is good. Why would I pay?
100%.
If you're giving it away over and over and you're building up followers, the attention is the currency. Look at Joe Rogan. Look at his podcast. He just sold the podcast for $100 million to Spotify. He never did it for the money.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant. I love him.
Yeah. But the attention is the currency. That's the whole game right now. That's why social media is, you can't pay. You could not pay for that kind of attention. We couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford to put ads out every day on Like, I put pictures on Instagram. I put pictures on my Facebook page. So my Facebook business page has whatever, I don't know, 12,000 followers. You know how much you'd have to pay to get the attention of 12,000 people on Long Island? It would be, I couldn't afford it. I know that.
Yeah.
But it's out there, and that's the currency. That's what people have to realize. And just, you can't worry about if people like the video or the picture. If the picture's at a good angle or a bad angle, you're going to post another one tomorrow, and you'll post another one the day after. And you're going to post a video one day, I know, that's going to be, it's going to be the one. It's going to be the one that sends, you're going to go from however many views you get, and then it's going to go, you're going to say something that's going to trigger a lot of people, and then 1,000 people will share it, and then 3,000 will share it, and then 50,000 will share it, and then that's what takes it to the next level. But it could be a month, 6 months, 8 months. It's the people that don't give up. Sooner or later, you're going to get there. How long is the journey? I don't know. People now, they want to go from the bottom rung of the ladder to the top. They just want to I want to be a big influencer, and I want to get to the top of the ladder, and they don't want to take a chance. They got to take a chance. You know, you got to let it, just climb it rung by rung.
Yeah, and you're right. You got to start somewhere. You know, it's just, and not worry about. You've got to have that I don't know attitude. You know, just put it out there and just trust that it's going to end up where it's supposed to. But Don, seriously, I could spend the rest of the day talking to you.
I'm sure we could. It was my pleasure.
Mine too, love. And I'm going to come to your shop. I want to take pictures. I want to post them, and I'm going to, you know, put some information. So
I love that. I have to come see this cave at some point. I've heard it's very impressive.
You know what? I really would love you to. I'd love you to come in. We have, as soon as we're allowed to open, come in, you can take a class here or just sit in the cave and relax. Or
Now, where do you fall in line with this thing? Are you like a gym or so you're phase 3, you're in the tail end.
I'm at the tail end. So because I've changed my whole model. Like I make my money in the cave. I do a lot of events, a lot of dinners, private birthday parties, baby showers, or a lot of workshops in the cave. We do psychic readings and we do workshops on holistic approaches to different things and stress mastery and yoga. Right. So now with my new space, I've collaborated with different people who are in alignment with me. And that's also very important, is that it's somebody who I get that instant connection with. So I've got a psychologist who's going to be renting some space here, and I already have a chiropractor and acupuncturist. So I won't be able to do massages, I don't think, for a long time.
Right.
So I've changed my model. I've added to my retail store, which was always good, but now put it on a virtual platform. So
do you love it here? Do you love Long Island? Do you love living here?
I love it. I'm from South Africa. I left when I was 18. I went to live in Israel for 5 years, and I studied hotel and restaurant management in Israel. And then I moved to LA and Philly, but New York is the place that speaks to my heart. I love the energy and I love the opportunity, and it's really up to us. I came here with $200 and no job. I always knew I was going to do something big. I needed to find exactly how that was going to look. And even now I give a lot of detail to it, but the universe brings it back in a different way all the time and better. Who would have thought that your Barbie cake would have got 60,000 views?
Nobody would have thought.
I know, it's so crazy. So I don't know, I have such faith in the outcome being amazing. And just like you, I like being here. I feel like we're lucky, even during this time of COVID, as however scary it is, the opportunity to be able to change our businesses and work on our relationships. And how everyone's talking about the new normal? Well,
yeah.
It's how does your new normal look? What is it that's not working in your life? Are your relationships working? Is the medical stuff? What is it that works for us? And we get to decide that. How lucky that we have this time to step back and say, hold on, this is not working, or maybe I'll tweak this. Or I feel so lucky that we've had this opportunity.
Listen, we're going through a horrible thing right now.
Yeah.
But this period of time that me and you have been, this is the best time to be alive that's ever existed, ever.
Yeah.
The access to information, the access to help people if you want, the access to everything that the technology is bringing us. There has been no better time, especially for a small business owner. 30 years ago, you had to open a business and just sit and wait for people to show up. You just had to sit there and wait. There was no way, you could do a little advertisement, I guess, in the paper, but now people could know you're opening before you're even open.
Yeah.
You could have a campaign on social media and your doors aren't even open yet.
And I can sell products all over the world, and it's amazing. I agree with you totally. I feel lucky. Never mind in America, you can take Don's cupcakes everywhere, love.
Listen, my destination, my final destination for myself, I've never been any place in the world that I've had the connection that I had to Maui.
Okay.
When I went to Maui, I felt my feet were almost connected to the soil, and I can't explain it any other way. The air felt different when I was breathing. My vision was clearer, and I feel a pull that's pulling me back to Maui. And what was funny over the last few years, when I was just doing the cakes, I would tell people, if I could ever figure out how to carve coconuts into Louis Vuitton handbags, I would sell them on a beach in Maui, and I'd be the coconut Don. I would sit with my big straw hat in Maui. But now with this cupcake thing, it is scalable. Yeah. I can turn this thing into as big as I want it to be. Yeah. And there's people that have come before me. A friend of mine, Bobby Lloyd, who owns Magnolia Bakery. It's one of the most successful bakeries in the world. And she was just a small business owner. And one day, Sex and the City decided to film they filmed an episode in Magnolia. And the next day she showed up for work, and the line of 20-something-year-old girls was around the block. And now there's a Magnolia Bakery everywhere. They're all over the world. So it's as big, you can get it to as big as you want to be. And being big is not the answer always either.
No.
Some people keep it small, keep it simple. But my vision for this thing is still every day. It's manifesting in my head. I can see the shop. I'm now waiting on the first location that will be the cupcake spot. I've been reaching out to real estate people, and the Long Island real estate people are all telling me the same thing. Don't do anything for 90 days because unfortunately in 3 months from now, half these stores are going to be empty. And the inventory on commercial real estate is going to be a lot more commercial real estate. You're going to be able to make some good deals with the landlords. So I'm going to wait a little while because I reached out and they're all telling me, pump the brakes a little bit because to sign a lease right now might not be the smartest thing. But I appreciate you letting me talk about it here. And
so good, Don. I can't wait to come in and meet you face to face and, come and buy some of your cakes and cupcakes.
Let me ask you, I have a question for you.
Yes, honey.
How is being in a salt cave conducive to eating a cupcake? Can you consume cake in a salt cave, or is this not acceptable?
No, but the salt cave is a small part of my business. It's 2,000 square feet, so the cave's 500, and then I have a smaller cave that's a couples cave. We do couples massages and hot stone treatment. Yeah, good for you to know to bring your wife.
Yes. Can you have cupcakes in there?
And no, but I do a lot of events here that we do parties and we do I have the rest of the space is all like space it's a blank canvas and I use it for so many things, for events and parties, and I do a lot of corporate coaching also. And so I see so many ways you and I can work together. My head's, as I'm talking to you, my head's going, which always happens when I meet someone I'm inspired by. So it was meant to be, and I wanted to say one more thing about Maui, how you pull back there. That's definitely past life. And I see you were some kind of like a medicine man there. I always get I see these pictures of people when I'm talking to them. I don't know if that's like a weird psychic thing but I could see that with you there.
I like that, man. I like to hear that. Whatever will get me back there, however it's going to lead me back there. I will find my way to Maui at some point.
Yeah.
And I may find the place I love the most, I may not have even visited yet.
Of course. We don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You don't know. That's why you have to leave yourself open to uncertainty, because that allows the universe to bring you things that we don't know, that we couldn't even fathom. And so that's why the tattoo's coming on, love.
Well, listen, I want to share a tattoo that I had tattooed with you. So
Yes.
It's King Tut with a piece of cake cut out of him that now I carry around.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
That
so you can
is
see the
beautiful.
cake. There's a piece of cake because that first Tut cake changed my life forever. Yeah, and that means so much to me.
I get it. I love that you're expressing it in that way, because you won't forget, you like remember that, and it keeps re-inspiring you.
Absolutely. I'm very inspired by this conversation. And if you didn't write it down, I think you'd be very interested. David Goggins.
Yeah, I got it.
Get his book. I've gone back to it over and over again because anytime I'm going through something that's really serious and it's going to be I read his book and I go, you've done nothing. What are you doing? Get up. Go do something. You've done nothing. It's an amazing book. And I'm curious to hear if you read it or you listen to the audiobook, how you enjoy it.
I will. And Don, I'm going to keep in touch with you. I want you to come here. I want you to bring your family. I invite you into the cave.
I would love that. Thank you.
And we, just keep doing you, because you are so inspiring. And if everybody could just get a little taste of this and find some level of what, how you've connected with yourself, what a different place we'd live in.
Thank you. So let me ask you a question. Where am I going to be able to find this interview?
So I'm going to email to you. I'm going to put on YouTube. I'm going to put on Facebook, and I'm going to send it out to my clients.
Perfect.
And I'll, are you on Facebook Live? I want to.
I am. I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere. So we'll connect on all the platforms. And listen to me. Get your kids to start a TikTok page on your phone for you.
Are you kidding? I'm going here right now. I'm going home
I'm serious. I'm not kidding. You should do it. And if 12 people watch, who cares? Just keep putting one on every day.
I'm going to do it. Thank you
You got
so
it.
much, Don. I appreciate you so much. And I feel honored that you were on.
You stay safe. It was nice talking to you.
You too, honey.